Okay, we're up to Samech Daled Amid Aleph the Mishnah. Samech Daled Amid Aleph the Mishnah. Person says Kidashti Espiti Akatana. Person says Mekadesh my daughter when she's a katana. Again, Espiti Nesati Lishazeh. A person has the capability of being Mekadesh his daughter when she's a katana. Or he says Kidashti. What?
I'm trying to help. I know it's shocking, but I'm trying to help. But for the people that on the share that didn't hear on the tape, could you
We're starting, as it says on the recording, we're starting at Samech Daled Amid Aleph.
Two things you didn't hear. Go to the videotape.
And okay, we're starting Samech Daled Amid Aleph. Okay. Kidashti Espiti. A person says, I was Mekadesh my daughter, and again, when she's a katana. She's a katana. Man, when she's a katana or a naira, could say Espiti Nesati Shazeh. Or Kidashti, I was Mekadesh her, Ugirashtia, and I was Mekabel her get. So Varihi Katana, and she is a katana. Then Nemon. What is he Nemon? He's Nemon that the passel her from the kahuna, because she's a grusha. He's Nemon to passel her from the kahuna because she's a grusha. If he says Kidashti Vigashtia Kishi Katana, I was Mekadesh her and accepted Gerushin from her when she was a katana. And now Varihi Gedoyla. At this point in time, he says this when she's what? A Gedoyla. So it's no longer in his jurisdiction. Einay Neman. He's not believed. Einay Neman. Umuteris the Koyain, and therefore she be mutter to go ahead what and be mutter to a Koyain. Right. However, Nishbase, she was captured. Upidisiha, and I redeemed her. Bein she katana, bein she gedoyla, then einay neman. Now, what are you concerned about Nishbase? Rashi says, Arihi psula lekahuna. She's Nishbase. She'll be puzzled from the kahuna. Mishum suffix zaina, because she's a suffix whether the person had been ma'anasa. One refarish timer. So we have three cases in the Mishnah. The first case of Kidushin, second case of Kidushin and Gerushin, and the third case of captive. So when she's a katana, he's believed to say that what? He's believed to pass from the kahuna. When she's a gedoyla, he's not believed to pass from the kahuna. And when she is captured, even when she's a katana, he's not believed to say that what? That she was captured. She's not believed she was captured to pass from the kahuna when she's a katana. Fred the Gemara on Samech Daled Amid Aleph. Maishna Reisha by the she's believed when she's a katana. Maishna Seifa, the case of the Seifa, that means both cases. The cases where she's a gedoyla and the case with Nishbase, in the case where she was captured. Maishna Reisha and Maishna Seifa. Says the Gemara. The Gemara is going to entertain this svara and then and conclude that it's incorrect. Okay, but it's going to take us in Amid Gemara. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to propose this as the possible svara, and then we're going to go ahead and reject it. So Reisha biyadei, since she's a katana, she's in his jurisdiction, so he can go ahead and accept, be Mekadesh and accept Gerushin for her. Seifa. But the Seifa, where Aish is a Gedoyla, will be, guys, what would Nishbase be? What would the equivalent of Nishbase, what he can do? Give her over to a guy, right? Give her over to a guy would be Nishbase. If you give it over to a guy, and the guy would pass from the kahuna. If a woman has relations with the guy, she's a Zaina, right? It's an active. So if you look at Rashi says Seifa lav biyadai lekadsha mishigadla. It's not in the jurisdiction to Mekadesha, and that's case number 2. And case number 3 is Nishbase, Loyla Maisra Biyara Vikichavim, Loyla Gedoyla, Loyla Katana. When you're a Gedoyla Katana, in either case, you will not be permitted to go ahead and give her over to a guy. So that's the difference. That's the svara the Gemara wants to propose. That's the svara that the Gemara wants to propose. That there's a difference. There's a difference between when it's biyada to do something. There's a difference when it's biyada to do something, or when it's not. There's a difference.
This moment that he's testifying.
Even if he says when he's a gadol, I gave it over when she was a cotton, it doesn't make a difference. That's the chiddush, right? Obviously, you can't do it when she was a gedoyla and said give it over when it's a gedoyla. That's a davar pashut. Even when it could have been in jurisdiction when she was the katana, but he's saying now, since now he couldn't do it, right? Therefore, he's not believed. And Nishbase, even when she's a katana, he's not believed to say, therefore you can't do it. That's the Gemara's svara. So that's the ratio where he's believed to pasla and al skarusha, and the seifa he's not believed to pasla.
So the believability is based on whether he can do the action right now.
Correct. That's a very good segue. If a kohen marries a Kidushin, they have a child. If an almana marries a kohen gadol, they have a child. What's the child called? They all learn Masechta Makos. The child is called a chalal. Now, if the havamina of the Gemara is, could a man marry his daughter off to a chalal? Why not? He's not a mamza. He's not asla kal Hashem. Yeah, and the assumption is just like he's a chalal, it'll be mischalal her, and she would what? She would be pasal l'kuna. So and l'chayra that is biyadai. That's biyadai. There's nothing wrong with it. There's nothing wrong with that. So Fred the Gemara Kasha, you're telling me the svara that everything that is biyadai to do, you believe. I'll show you. You can create a chalal. You can create a pasal l'kahuna with something that is biyadai. But biyad lasil chalal the kapasla mekahuna says the Marholei Kasha. That's not shver. Now the Mishnah is going according to Rabbi Distoi ben Yehuda. The Mishnah is going according to Rabbi Distoi ben Yehuda, the Amar who's of the opinion B'nois Yisrael mikva tahayra lechalalim. Pirish, Rashi explains. Again, we're going to see this Bez Hashem in Asar Yochsin. If you have a child, a man that's a chalal, and he marries a Jewish woman, the product of that union is kosher v'yasher, squeaky clean, as we say. Good? Again, if a man chalal marries a Bas Yisrael, the Bas Yisrael has the capacity to do what? To be matar the child, that the child should be squeaky clean, and says Rashi and Memela, she's squeaky clean. If she can be matar the child, that the child should not be a chalal, right? She herself is not mischalel. So you want to say it's biyodei to make a puzzle for the kahuna al schalala? It's not true. She would not be a chalala if she marries a chalal, because we're going according to the opinion of Rav Distoi ben Yehuda. Again, we will see this bezashem later on. Dama b'nei Yisrael, beautiful lashon, mikveh tayra l'chalalim. The Yisrael mikveh tayra for chalalim. Read the Gemara of Rabbi Yodei l'asiyah l'mamza. He had the capacity to marry to a mamza. Now he's being over in Nissa, but he could do it. And meaning, and if you do it, will the Kidushin be typhus? Yes. Will she be asa to a kohen? Absolutely. Again, when a Zaina, still Zaina, remember we spoke out many times in Yavamis, has nothing to do with the Hebrew term of Zaina. That's a Kadesha. A Zaina is where it's a bia that will pass the kahuna. So if she would be with a mamza, that would pass the kahuna. So l'chari he could do that. So how are you telling me it's not biyadai? He could do that. And Kidushin will be typhus and what? Says, well, you can't do that. Rabbi Akiva, the Amar, ain't Kidushin typhus b'chayvei lavim. Kidushin is not typhus by chayvei lavim. Again, that the Das Yochid, the famous Rabbi Akiva, in Masech the Yavamis, that is of the opinion that if you would marry her off to a mamzer, it would not be a marriage at all. If you marry her off to a mamzer, it would not be a marriage at all, and that's the difference in our Mishnah. So one who kimta, it's like Rabbi Distoi vis-a-vis what? Vis-a-vis a chalala, and it's like Rabbi Kiva vis-a-vis a mamzer. Says the Gemara, Haribiyadu l'asiyah almana l'koyin gadol, right? And what? And you have the capacity to marry almana what? Almana l'koyin gadol, which is chayvei lavim. Now, why would that be different than mamza to what? To a regular person? I could do not typhus. Says the Gemara, and like the opinion of Rabbi Simoy, the Tanya, Rabbi Simoy Omer, from Minakol, from all Chavei Lavim, Oyser Rabbi Kiva Mamzerim, again, Rabbi Kiva makes Mamzerim. Guys, remember what's a Mamza? Any product, the union of a Chavei Krisis, Chavei Mises Bezdin, yeah? And we said, like Rabbi Akiva, since anything in Kedushin is not typhus, since like Rabbi Akiva, Kedushin is not typhus by Chayvei Lavim, the offspring would be a mamza. So, however, there's one variable, which is that the one is that almana l'koyin gadol. If almana marries the koyin gadol, in that case, Rabbi Akiva would be of the opinion that Kedushin would be typhus. Okay, the time of Rabbi Akiva mamzer chutz me almana l'koyin gadol. So memela we can infer. If the offspring of an almana l'koyin gadol is not a mamzer, it must be that the Kidushin is typhus. It's hava hatalia. If the kedushin it doesn't work, then the child's a mamza. If the child's not a mamza, then the kedushin must work. So according to Rabbi Simoy, according to Rabbi Akiva, that the union of a kohen gadol and an almana with the child would not be a chalal, a mamzer, then memela about the kedushin's typhus. So therefore, that would be a case in the Mishnah, and because then l'chayr still she would be asa to marry a kohen because she would be a mischalel. Says the Gemara. Now, how do you know that what almana l'kohen gadol does work? Shari Amr Torah. The Torah says almana gush v'chalal zayna es ela lo yikach kim besula meyam avikach isha. You can only marry a besula lo yichalal zaroi ba'amav. And you should not be mechalal his children among the nation. Kiani Hashem mikad shoy. So it says, Torah says lo yikach v'lo yischalel. Now, so what does that mean, guys? Don't have a marriage that will create chalalim. Why does it create chalalim, not mamzerim? So that's how we enforce from the pasuk that Rabbi Akiva will make a difference. Chalulim oisa ve'inois mamzerim. So l'chayra in our sugya we do have. You're telling me it's not biyadai. I have a case biyadai. Amar l'kayin gadol according to Rabbi Samai. That would work. Says the Gemara, and for the Gemara, Rabbi Yeshevav, Damar, that Rabbi Yeshev is of the opinion. Why is Rabbi Yeshev? Boy v'nitzvach. Let's go and yell al Akiva ben Yosef, right? That why should we yell at him? Because he makes a lot of mamzerim in Klal Yisrael. So you oimer kol shein le'bia b'Yisrael, kol ish that's not able to go ahead any bia. The vlad would be a mamza. So Rabbi, he's of the opinion. If the bia is asa, even forget about the kedushin being typhus. If the bia is asa, that would keep mamzeris. So in Mela, you don't have the option of a manul kohen gadol because the bia, in fact, what is asa. So like Rabbi Yeshevav, this would be what. This would make sense. Why it's not biyadai, because even though the kedushin is typhus, not even if it's not typhus, the bia would render her the child, render her chala, the child of mamza. Even if even the kedushin is typhus, anyone who marries an isha that's us to him, the vlad would be. And it's a big chumrah of Rabbi Yeshevav. So, meaning that Kedushin would not be typhus. I guess it's not possible to have Kedushin typhus and the child be a mamza. It's not possible. He's saying that since the bia is asa, the Kedushin is not typhus and the child will be a mamza. Now the question is to what extent is Rabbi Yeshevav saying his din? Is he saying a universal din, all bia, or he's saying it only versus Rabbi Samai? And of course, again, is he addressing Rabbi Samai's din of Amanul Kohen Gadol, or is Rabbi Yeshevav telling us the universal din across the board? Hanichel Rabbi Yeshevav, if you're telling me Rabbi Yeshevav is telling a din across the board, and he's not speaking of like Rabbi Samai, again, he's saying his own din. He's not speaking about Rabbi Samai at all, and he's explaining the words of Rabbi Akiva, and he's saying anytime there's a bia, the child's a mamza, memela, it makes a lot of sense why the person's not biyadei to go ahead and give over his daughter to a if it's almana kohen gadol. He's just addressing his timer. Guys, what do we say? Almana kohen gadol is good? No, I'll tell you almana kohen gadol is bad. But in other words, that bia is bad, but there are other bias that would not make mamzerim. Now, guys, there's a portion in the Torah of you can't you can marry a Mitzri after third generation. That's what it says in the Torah. You can marry a Mitzri after third generation. What can we infer? You can't marry generation in 1 or 2. Lav habol mechala say is an assay. So we can infer. So Admoni, Edomi, and Mitzri, these are people who are not asala oilam, like Amoin and Moav, like Mamzerim. These are people that would be permitted after a period of time. So guys, here's the nafkamina. If Rabbi Yeshev is saying it didn't be across the board, even what Mitzri and Adomi would also be a problem because the B is asa. But if he's only addressing Rabbi Simai, who was speaking about a Amanul Kohen Gadol, then a man could give his daughter to a Mitzri. I feel like Rabbi Yeshevav, and it would not. You would have a biyadai to go ahead and give it over to a Mitzri. How you say you can't go over to anybody? So Fred the Gemara Kash like this. Bishleim Hanich Rabbi Shevav Ilatami Dinafshi Shapir. If you're saying a universal din across the board, and therefore what any beer would also make mamzerim, even a beer of an asay would be a problem. He's only addressing the issue of a model kohen gadol kasi. You can marry up to a mitzri or a domi. Ravashi v'tizbra. Okay, so now l'chayra. So you have a kasha that I have a possibility of someone you could marry off to. And again, we began with a svara, guys. What's the svara? Anything that's biyada is believed. Anything that's biyada. And I told you, now we're going to end that svara. Okay, so we have a kasha on this svara. What's the kasha? Rabbi Yeshevach, if he's addressing Rabbi Simai, then you can give it over to a mitzri. And so therefore it will be biyada. Says Gemara Ravashi v'tizbra ta'aser. Rashi v'tizbra. Reishi mishun de biyadahu. Nihi biyadi lekatsha. Biyadi legarsha. Guys, that's the opening line. Kadashti esbiti. I was mekadesh my daughter. Or kidashtia. I was mekadesha. Begay rashtia, and I was mekabel Kidushin. Why is he believed? Because it's biyadai. Kidushin. Why is he believed biyadai? Is it good? I can marry her off as a katana. Let's say the guy likes someone to stay with her. I can't force a get. It's not biyadi to make a get. The svara is not a good svara. What's your svara? Anything that's in my power to do, I'm believed. So what's the case of my power? I married my daughter off and I accepted Gerushin. Great. That's not biyadai. You can't tell the guy to divorce her. Not biyadai. V'oid. Ilu Amar. Hi. The loinicha bigava. Imatzi mekachin ele. Balkarche. Pirish. And even Kidushin. It's not biyadai. Let's say a guy doesn't want to marry her. In other words, you can go to the shadchin, you could pay the guy off, but the bottom guy is, he may not want to do it. Still, the bottom line is no guarantee. So now, it's not, case number 2 is not correct. And even case number 1 is not biyadai. I took my daughter, my katana, and I married her off. It's not totally biyadai. That's what the guy doesn't want. So the Gemara is a very, very powerful. Both cases, 1 and 2, saying what? That your svara biyadai doesn't work. Oh, so now back to Ella. When you get Ella in the Gemara, what does it mean? Back means I used to ask the Rabbi in Yeshiva. So why do we have to do the first part? Ella, right? What? Yeah, he didn't know. He didn't tell me to get out. He asked me to ask. He asked me to ask Hesh. And then he said Hesh get out. Anyway, it says the Gemara. Okay, Gishma, guys. So now Ella, you hear the kasha. What's the kasha? What's the difference in the ratio where he said what? I'm marrying her off. He's believed. And what's the difference safe? He's not believed. Good. Says the Gemara. Ella Amar Avashi. Resha Rachmana Himne. In the Resha, when he married off his daughter, the Torah believed him. Kiravhuna. Dam Ravhuna Marav. Minayin La'av. Sheneman Lesser is Bitoy Min HaTorah. How do you know a father is believed to his daughter Min HaTorah? How do you know a father is believed to ask the Torah Min HaTorah? Shenemar Espiti Nasati Leish Hazeh. The guy, the Pasha of Motzei Shemra. Espiti Nasati Leish Hazeh. When it says Leish, Espiti Nasati Leish Asra. As soon as she said that, what happens, guys? I married off my daughter to a man. What's the halacha? She's also on the whole world, correct? Hazeh, when she said Hazeh, Hetira, it mattered to that one guy. So he has the ability to do what? He has the ability to Asaha. He has the ability to matter. It's Xeris HaKosev. It's not a svara. It's not a svara. It's Xeris HaKosev. It's a pasuk. As speaking that ish, ha'ish. As soon as it said ish, what's the din? As soon as it said ish, whole world asa because he's married to somebody. Hazeh, mutter to this guy. So that's the correct again. That's why he's believed in the Resha. But that's only by a katana. Binisu in him ne rachmana la'av. Bishvuya, and case number 3, like him. The Torah did not go ahead what and believe. He doesn't. That he never got an emunah to say my daughter was captured. So we go through Xeris HaKosev. It's a diak. The whole thing's Xeris HaKosev, right? The Torah is speaking to Sadiq Shazeh to say married, but not to say what nishbis. It's not a svara. It's Xeris HaKosev. What? What? What do you mean? Speaking to, he said, the ish, he can ask her. The ish, he could say she, he can say he asked her. Where gave Rashi?
It's like Kidushin, but not the Kidushin.
But again, when he said La'ish, didn't he ask her on the whole world? Isn't that Asa on the whole world?
Yeah. But he said he was to accept the get on her behalf for her. He has that money, the father.
Here he's like, okay, I hear. Says the Mishnah. Misha Amar b'shas misasai. Because next piece of Gemara is challenging. Misha Amar b'shas misasai. Someone says at the time of his death, Yeshli bonim, I have sons. What does that mean? Meaning my wife is not subject to Yibum. My wife is not subject to Yibum. This is din of Yibum, right? Once you say you had children, my wife's not subject to Yibum. However, he says Yeshli achim, I have brothers, then Eino Neman. The Eino Neman. So in other words, Pashtus, there's a chazaka that this woman, right, that this woman is not subject to Yibum, not subject to Yibum. He's believed to go ahead and say she's not subject to Yibum. But to say she is subject to Yibum, that it wouldn't be believed. Again, the Gemara is going to explain this, okay? Says Rashi, just one word. Yeshli achim, sekukali yavam, he hoisa adhena, becheska shena sekuka. That's the key word, guys. Good? And she was until now, you married 30 years, and all of a sudden, and there was you had family get-togethers, there were never any uncles, and all of a sudden, surprise! Right? This is chazak. Well, chazak that there's no brothers. Right? And then all of a sudden, surprise, you're not believed. In other words, what he says, but Shas Misa is not believed. So chazaka is going to play a large role in the following Gemara, okay? So it says the Gemara, Alma, what do you see? Neman lahatir, he's believed to mata the shuk to say Yeshli bonim. Yeshli bonim means you're not subject to Yibum. Ve'in nema lesser, but he's not believed to Asa that she needs Yibum. Right? Again, when you say you believe to say you have sons, that's another way of saying that you don't fall to Yibum. When you say that you're not believed to say you have brothers, that means you're not believed to say she does fall to Yibum. Name of Asnisan, let's say a Mishnah, the like Reb Nasan. Let's say a Mishnah is not like Reb Nasan. Titanya, B'shas Kidushin Amar. Guys, at the time of Kidushin, he says, Yesh lo yibonim. Ami says there's known to him that he has sons. So meaning she's not subject to Yibum. B'shas Misa Amar, Ein lo yibonim. And Shas Misa, he says that what? There aren't sons. So let's speak another language. At the time of marriage, there's no Yibum. At the time of death, yes, Yibum. B'shas Kidushin Amar, Ein lo yachim. Meaning there's no Yibum. Shas Misa Amar Yesh Yachim. Good. In other words, in both cases, what are you saying? There wasn't Yibum, and now at the time of death there's Yibum. There's Yibum either now because there's no sons, or there's Yibum now because there are brothers. Good. Neman lahatir, says the Tanakama, you're Neman b'shas Kedushin, ve'in Neman lesser, and you're not believed to lesser. You believe to say whatever you say b'shas Kedushin, but you wouldn't believe to ask her and say that she falls to Yibum. You wouldn't be believed to say they're brothers. Did Rabbi Nasan Omer, af neman lesar. You would even be believed to ask her. Now, even believed to ask her, let's put it in another language, meaning you'd be believed to say they're brothers. Guys, look at me. If you're neman la'aser, meaning neman to say there's a din of Yibum, what are you saying? They are brothers, correct? Look at our Mishnah. What's the din of the Mishnah? Last din, yesh liachim, ein a neman. So therefore, you want to say Rav Nasan is not the Tan of our Mishnah. Right? It's speaking b'shas Misa, and you're saying b'shas Misa, she's subject to Yibum because they have brothers. The Mishnah says, if she says that, she's not believed. So l'chayra, Mishnah is not like Rav Nasan. So the rest of the Gemara is going to show that a Mishnah could be even according to Rav Nasan. Good? So we have a Brisa. Rav Nasan appears in a Brisa. He seems to say that a man is believed to say my wife is subject to Yibum b'shas Misa. And Mishnah said b'shas Misa, he's not believed to say she's subject to Yibum. Amarava, Shiny Hasam, the Kivin the B'shas Misa Kahadabay, since at the time of Misa he changed his mind from what he said at the time of Kedushin, Ema Kushta Ka'amalei. Maybe what he's telling the truth. In other words, at first he lied and said there's no sons, no brothers, And now B'Shas Misa, he's changing his mind, and he must be telling the truth. Let's see Rashi, 1, 2, 3, about 5 lines up from the bottom. Shani Hasan B'Braisa, in the Braisa of Nasin, Kivin the Hadebe Midibura Kama B'Shas Misa, Kushta Kama. Why? Shloye oven talibai. There should be an oven. In other words, he doesn't want a Yavam Lashuk going free when in fact she's falling to Yibum. In other words, he's dying on his deathbed. He wants to, tell the truth. Really, she's subject to Yibum. So therefore, it's as far as they believe. Avamas Nisan, Shlayama B'Shas Kedushin. Guys, what did our Mishnah deal with? Only one thing. Our Mishnah dealt with Shas Misa. Our Mishnah did not deal with what? Shas Yibum. So our Mishnah that only dealt with Shas Kedushin, did not deal with Shas Kedushin. Ainli Achim, Ki Ama Hashta Yeshli, Ein Enemon. Right? In the Mishnah, did we think you have brothers? No. Now you should go ahead and say she has brothers. Litzuuri Kamachavin. Initially, guys, here's what happened. Initially, he said he lied. He lied. You're not subject to Yibum. Now he's having a change of heart. I lied. Good. Okay. Right. But our Mishnah, there is no lie. Our Mishnah, she was not subject to Yibum because he never said anything. Now, at the time of his death, he says, you know what? You did brothers. Maybe he wants to mitzarha. It's a shver svar. We're going to upschlag in a second. But that's the difference. In other words, the difference between the Mishnah and the Brisa, the Mishnah doesn't have a Shas Kedushin. It only had Shas Misa. You didn't have point A, you only had point B. And the Brisa had point A and B. So where you had point A was a lie, point B wants to rectify the lie. And point A, in our Mishnah, where there's no point A, so he didn't want to rectify it. And he wanted to lie and be Mitzarha. I don't understand that. The lav called the Cain who? Is it not a Kal V'chaymer? Hashta Uma Hasam. Over there when he said a lie. The Kamara Leili Dibure. Right? And he's trying to go ahead, what? And he's making his initial words untrue. Amit Kushta Kamar, Masnisan the like Kamar Leili Dibure, because there were no previous words like Kolshkin. In other words, Madach, where he lied. And he wants to rectify it, he's believed. Certainly where it wasn't a lie, he should be believed. And that's not a good svara to say why the difference between the Brisa and the Mishnah, and therefore right now we're holding that the Mishnah is not according to the Tana of the Brisa Rabbi, who says that you'd even be believed to say she's subject to Yibum. Good? So now we have to answer that up. Okay. So Elan Rabbiya, Masnisan d'lei muchzik lo ba'achi, d'lei muchzik lo b'bini. In our Mishnah, there's no chazaka of any brothers, no chazaka of any sons. So in other words, we don't know what she is. Nothing. We don't know. Damrinon, kiven loy muchzik lam b'bini, v'loy ba'achi. In other words, nishtahi nishtaher. Amar yeshli banim neman, yeshli achim ein neman. In other words, you're going to say yeshli achim, you're changing the chazaka. Yeshli banim, you're not changing the chazaka. Guys, right now in our Mishnah, is she subject to Yibum? You don't know anything. Is she subject to Yibum? No. What's a chazaka? There's no brothers and there's no sons. So why do we call her a free agent? Now, at the time of death, what does he want to do? He says, Yeshli Banim. Believe. Because it's the same thing. But to say Yeshli Achim, can't change the chazaka. Guys, you good? That's the Mishnah. What about the Brisa? Right? So therefore, in Yeshli Banim Neman, Yeshli Achim Ein Neman, the lav called Kamina. The Asala Kulyama, right? Brisa, the Brisa. Okay, I'm going to read these words, and they're going to make no sense, and then I'm going to give you a chart. It's going to make a lot of sense. Okay, you ready? The machziklon ba'achi, or machziklon b'bnei, darmina and mali l'shaker. My karma live mithre miyavam, matziyam petranel chabikita. Rabbi Sava mali l'shaker ki edim dami. V'yasa edim akri chazaka. But nasan Sava mali l'shaker ki chazaka dami. L'yasi chazaka v'akri chazak l'gami. Okay, now we all understand. We go weiter. Okay, guys, look, I sent it out on the phone. The Brisa has a Shas Kedushin and a Shas what? And a Shas Misa. Good? Okay, I put this together. I think maybe it's going to make a big difference, okay? Okay, A, B, and C. Going across the top, you got it? A, B, and C. A. Okay. The Chazaka here, B'Shas, the Chazaka before anything, is that she's subject to Yibum. We have a Chazaka, one that she has brothers, and she doesn't have any sons. That's A. Yes? That's the chazaka, yes? Mm-hmm. Now, b'shas kedushin, she breaks the chazaka. He breaks the chazaka. He says b'shas kedushin, I have no brothers and I have sons. So what's the din? No yibum. It equals no yibum. Good. Now, why does he say b'shash misa, fellas? He's restoring the original. A and C are the same. He's restoring it. I have brothers and no sons, and therefore there's your yibum, which is the original chazaka. Good. Now, fellas, let's go back to B. He wants to break this chazaka, right? He wants to say you're not subject to yibum. There's two ways to make you not subject to yibum. What is that? Sons or divorce. Guys, if he wanted her not to fall to yibum, give her a get. So therefore, he has a migu. He has a migu. He has a mali the shaker on point B. Believe me that I have no brothers, and she's not, and I have sons just to avoid yibum because I wanted to avoid yibum. I could divorce her if she's divorced. She's not falling to anybody. So you have a mali the shaker. You with me, guys? B, you see what B is? B is a migu. Believe me that what? She's not subject to yibum. Yibum, I could divorce her and get her away from yibum. Now, question: does B break the chazaka of A or weaken the chazaka of A? Does B break the chazaka of A or weaken the chazaka of A? So let's go down. Let's go down to the videotape. Look, says Rabbi, Mali l'shaker of no yibum breaks the chazaka of yesh yibum. So B overcomes A. Good? B overcomes A. Therefore, now you're in a condition of what? Of no yibum. Memela by C, you want to say yes yibum, you're not going to be believed. Because the chazaka, you've been established that what? There's no yibum. Of course, your mali the shaka, B overcame A. C can't contradict B. However, Reb Noson's of the opinion that A over B weakens it, but it doesn't go ahead what? And break it. So therefore, it's intact, the chazaka. So Memela C is still there, because C is A, and therefore you're believed to go free. That's the brisa. So therefore, Reb Noson could be what? The brisa and our Mishnah are two different things. Our Mishnah is speaking what? Where you're going connected the chazaka. Like Reb Noson, right? Like in the brisa, like Reb Noson, you're not going connected the chazaka. You're going with the chazaka. Why are you going with the chazaka? Because you had a chazaka that was not broken b'shas Kidushin when you said, right? She's not subject to yibum. Okay, let's see it in the Gemara now. Let's see, it makes a little sense. Says the Gemara, brisa. Okay, brisa. What's the brisa speaking about? Okay, what's the brisa speaking about? Let's read it. The muchsik lon ba'achi. You're muchsik that he has brothers. That right. In other words, that's your chazaka, that she's subject to yibum, correct? And now, why does he say b'shas kedushin? I have none. The aminon mali l'shaker, when he said, I don't have any brothers and I have sons, right? No, follow along. Mali l'shaker, when he says b'shas kedushin, it's the brisa. When he says b'shas kedushin, right, that she's not subject to yibum. Why? Because I have sons and no brothers. Mali l'shaker, my kamar. What? Lemifte b'yiva matzi. Amar patran l'begita. Right? He wants to go ahead and in point B to pater from yibum. What could he have done? Could have divorced her. So now, question: that point B from Shas Kedushin, does it break A or not? Says the Gemara. Rabbi Sava Mali l'shaka ki Edim dami. Mali l'shaka has the koyach of Edim. V'yasa Edim naki chazaka. So what chazaka should you now, guys? No yibum. No yibum. And therefore, when you come along B and you want to say, no, she's subject to yibum, you're not believed. But Nasan Sava, Mali l'shaka ki chazaka dami. Layasa chazaka of B, v'akar chazaka l'gamri of A, it weakens it. And therefore, if you don't say anything, you won't be subject to yibum. But once you went ahead and said that A is correct, then it goes back, reverts back to the original chazaka, and that's the machlokes. Very, 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 just a little. I'm telling you, just write down some words on paper makes a big difference, right? It's geschmack.
For those of you who are visual,
the guy came over today, had some pain, goes like, "Mark, today is killer. It's a killer. Must have killer." I said, "I didn't do it yet." So I did it, and then by Meyer, I ran into him. He was still here. He said, "Should I go through the Gemara with you?" I took the paper out. I went through the Gemara with him. He goes, "So hard." Says the Mishnah, "Hamakadosh es bitoy stam, you makadosh your daughter. Stop. This bitoy is makadosh bitoy stam. Eina boigris bechlal. Now, Begeris, guys, is 12 and 6 months. A man can marry his daughters when she's katana. He can marry her off when she's a naira. But naira is from 12 day into 12 and 6 months. Once she reaches a Begeris at 12 and 6 months, he has no jurisdiction. So let's say he has in his house daughters. So Begeris is not Bechal. Now, the next Gemara, if it sounds familiar, is we did it. We did it twice, right? We did it in not too long ago in Daf Nun Aleph, and we did it in Masechta Nedarim. Misha yesh le'shtei kitas banos. He's got 2 groups of daughters. Mishtei nashim from 2 separate wives. So he's got 4 daughters. 1 and 2, 3 and 4. Let's do it outside, guys. 1, 2, 3, and 4. He says, I married off the Gedaila. Is 1 the Gedaila? Yeah. 2 is the Gedaila. Why? Because 2 is older than 3 and 4. So 2 is the Gedaila to 3 and 4. 3 is the first of group 2. She's the Gedaila to 4. The only one that there's no suffix that she's what? Not the Kudeshes is who? Is 4. Because 4 is Katana. So, what? Because you need to call that in order to call the Gedaila. If you have one set, 1, 2, 3, and 4, then 2 and 3 are not going to be. In other words, right? You want one that you possibly would call a Gedaila. So if it's 2 separate sets, then 3 would be Gedaila 4. But if it's 1, 2, 3, and 4, then 2 and 3 would not. Says the Gemara. It's interesting because Rashi brings one word. He says, "Shnayim acher misas harishayna." He married 1 after the misa of the rishayna. Why do you have to say misa? He could marry 2 women at the same time. So the Rishash seems to say that if it's you married at the same time, they wouldn't be considered the 3 would not be considered a gedaila at all. It's only because after misa, 3 is considered the first of the next set. So she's the gedaila to number 4. Okay. Anyway. Says the Gemara, Misha yesh le'shtei kitas banos, mishtei nashim. V'amar kidashti espiti agedaila. V'eni yadeya im gedaila shebe gedaila is number 1, im gedaila shebe katana is number 3, a katana shebe gedaila is number 2. She gedaila min agedaila shebe katana is older than 3 and 3, right? And kulan asurais chutz min katana shebe katana except number 4. Div Reb Meir. Why? Because Reb Meir holds a person will put himself into a suffix. Reb Yossi kulan mutarais 2, 3, and 4 are permitted. Except 1. Why? Because a person is not going to get any nichtas to a suffix. Kidashti is biti akatana. Be'ini yoideya im katana shebe katanois. Okay, so now 1, 2, 3, and 4. So I don't know if it's number 4. Like katana shebe gedolos or number 2. Or gedolos shebe katanis or number 3. Number 3. Any yoideya im katana shebe katanois. That's number 4. A ketana shebe gedolos, or number 2, a gedolos shebe ketanis, or the gadol of the ketanis, which would be number 3. She ketanim in a ketanis, who is younger than number 2, shebe gedolos. Kulan asuras chusman gedolos shebe gedolos. The Gemara is the Remeya. We see on the kulan mutaris chusman ketanis shebe ketanis. The Gemara is going to make it 3 chasa. Why do you have to tell me both? Now, going according to case number 1, I'm a kaddish as bitoy stama. The begeris is not bechal. We had this Gemara. Ketanis bechlal, but ketanis would be mikudeshes. Let's see. There's 3 daughters. 1 is a boygreis, and then you have what? Numbers 2 and 3 are both ketanis. So there you have a safi kedushin, right? Ketanis bechlal shmamina kedushin shem mesurin lebia havi kedushin. Now, could you live with number? Let's say you have guys 3 daughters. 1 is a gedaila, 2 and 3 are ketanis. He says, I married off one of my daughters. You know, it's not number 1. Who could it be? 2 and 3. Could you marry? Can you boil any one of them? No, right? Because it could be achasishtay. It could be achasishtay. So this is kasha and rava. Why don't we have machlokes abaye for rava? Kedushin shem mesurim lebia. Kedushin that's not given over bia is ain't a kedushin. So over here lechayra that what you are married to. You see, you are married to 2 and 3. But why? Since it's not you couldn't be boiled them. It should be a good kedushin, right? That's the kasha. That was the kasha we that's what we saw the Gemara, the kasha and rava. There's only 2 kids. There's a Gedaila and a Katana. Fragment of a boygris Katani, mashma there 2, because it's Rabim, and if there's 2 boygris, there must be 2 Katanos. It says, my boygris to Alma. It's not speaking about specific marriage, it's speaking in general, the genre of boygris. It says, then Pshita. Boygris might have been a tile. What do you care at all? What is she doing there, the boygris? Again, she know that's she has no shaykh. She can be living in the house, but she has no shaykhs to the Kidushin. So it's pashut. If there's only two girls, the only one you could be married to is the katana. The boigers made you a shliach to Mekabel Kedushin for her. So now you have a suffix. I married off one of my daughters. I don't know which one, but even though my older daughter made me a shliach to Mekabel Kedushin, you could be assured that it's not my older daughter. Says the Gemara, and that's the chiddush. Shema the tema ki Mekabel Kedushin adaiti dida ka Mekabel, since he was made a shliach, he was Mekabel Kedushin on das of her. Kamash malon like shavik inish midi the islay hanamine. A person won't leave a chance to hana because he didn't get the money of kesef kedushin from the katana. For avid midi the less they hanamine and do something that he won't have enough from, such as the shlichus of the bageres. Fred the Gemara milo yaskin and the amale kidushai loch. That not only are you my shliach, but the money that I get for kedushin will be yours. So he has also at the gain. Afilu hachi le shavik inish mitzvah the rami Allah. It's a mitzvah. This meeting is to marry off his katana. It's not a mitzvah to marry off what his gedailah. So therefore, clearly, that's the chiddush is that even though you shav shliach, we're going to say you married off the younger one and not the old one. We gave two guys, right? We gave two things. We gave one the gedailah and one the katana. We gave one the gedailah and one the katana. Correct? So the Gemara asks right away. Vitzricha. You need to tell me both. You need to tell me the machloikas between Rabbi Meir and Rabbi Yossi by both venues. The Ashmina Kamaisa, the first one, with the case of the Gedolah of the Gedolahs, I would say Bahach Kamer Rabbi Meir Mesupik in 1, 2, and 3. The Kim and the Ikka Zutra Mino, because in each one you have one that's younger, Lahach than another one, because one is older than 2, and 2 is older than 3, and 3 is, everyone has a younger one, right? Therefore, Lahach Gedolah Karile. Therefore, each one is called a Gedolah. This is your older brother. This is older. You have an older brother, so each one's called sister. Older. Ava Bahab, where he was Mekadesh Katana, Ema Moidele Rabbi Yossi. That what it means the Katana, right? The Ema Moidele Rabbi Yossi. The Katana Lahach, Katana Lekuli Karile. The youngest kid is the Ben Zakunim with a Bas Zakuna. She's the baby in the family, right? So I would say there the Rabbi Meir does not say that 4, 3, and 2 might be in the ballpark. So therefore, you have to tell me no. Even according to him, it's in the ballpark. In the case of Baha, Mekadesh the Katana, Baha come Rabbi Yossi, because everyone calls the baby. But in the first case of the Gedolah, since 2 and 3 are older than 4, I would say that they're all Mesupik. Tzricha tell me that no. Even there, Rabbi Yossi does not go ahead and be nichlas the suffix. So again, Machloikas Rabbi Meir is a person who machlis asma the suffix, and therefore you don't know which one is Mekudeshes, one Gedolah Katana. Rabbi Yossi is of the opinion that no, a person won't be machlis into a suffix. Therefore, there's no doubt. The case of the Gedolah is number 1, and the case of Katana is number 4. You mean to tell me Rabbi Meir is of the opinion a person will be machas nafshe the sveika? Rabbi Yossi sava loy machas the sveika, a person won't enter it? We heard the following. Now a person is making a neder, and making a neder, we want to know he makes neder up until Pesach. Does it include Pesach or up until Pesach? And depending on the lashon, we can get an idea of what exactly he meant. Okay, he's making a neder, amasa b'hana, and he says the following. The 9. Hanoida ara Pesach. The person makes a neder and says, "I won't have enough of you until Pesach." Asur achigia Pesach. But once Pesach comes, once the 15th day of Nisan comes, he's permitted. It's off. He says, "Achi hey Pesach," until it is Pesach. Then what? You asur the whole Pesach, right? You asur the whole Pesach. V'yasa achi yetze. Now there's no machlokes there. There's no machlokes there. Where's machlokes? At Pnei Pesach. Now, guys, Pnei can mean two things. The face of the first day, or each day is the pnei of the other days. So this is similar to machlokes of Gedolah. So now, if Rabbi Meir would say up until the first day, he would obviously hold you not loy machas in the shnaf the sveika. If Rabbi Yossi would say each and every day, then the same thing as saying Gedolah. Says the Gemara. Pnei Pesach until Pnei Pesach. Rabbi Meir Omer asa yagia, only the first day. Why? Because that means the first day pnei means only one. So loy machas in the shnaf the sveika. Rabbi Yossi Yama Achi Yetze. No, Rabbi Yossi says no. Every single day you have to be chayish that one day is the pnei to the next. So l'chayra, what do you see? That Rabbi Yossi is machas after the sveikas. Read the Gemara here. You say by Gedolah Katana, Rabbi Yossi means vaday 1 and vaday 4. And here you say that not. So Amar Chanina bar Avdimi Amar Rav Muchlefes Hashi to switch it around. In other words, Rabbi Meir is the one who says if you say Pnei Pesach, it means each and every day, and Rabbi Yossi means Asher Giyah the Pesach. Says the Gemara of Hatanya. This is a raya, guys. This is a raya. Zah klal. This is the rule. Kol shezamanu kavua. Anything that has a zaman kavua, like Pesach and other Yom Tovim, v'yoma at Pnei. Rabbi Meir oimer at sheyetze. So you see, Rabbi Meir says the what each and every day. Says a raya what nichnas atzma the sveika. Rabbi Yossi at sheyagiyah. You see that a person that what a person would go ahead what and he would not be nichnas atzma the sveika. Okay, we'll stop over here. We'll say a kapit for him.
In the building.